This is our trusty childhood Yamaha that me and my siblings, we all learned to play on. And we spent countless hours playing these keys. My name is Ramiz Anwar. I am a composer and producer and instrumentalist for Model Town Music. I grew up in rural Texas, about an hour north of Dallas. And we began taking piano lessons at an early age, me and my 3 siblings. Some of my fondest and earliest musical memories come from taking piano lessons with Mrs. Baker, who was this sweet old church lady. Most of my influences growing up definitely was more Western rock and pop oriented with a bit of hip hop mixed into that. But from a young age, we were exposed to a lot of Desi music through our parents. We were always a musical family. This was our history. The first really Desi thing I did was this cover of Ambar Sariya with my siblings. Around this time I was living in Chicago, and so I would go out to open mics and play the sarangi, this very traditional sounding instrument, for this, overwhelmingly non-Desi audience. I would take these pop songs like John Legend or Taylor Swift or even like Radiohead and Nirvana I've covered on the sarangi. Around that time, I started focusing more on that Desi tradition of music, and I started to produce my own original songs. This is around the time I created Model Town Music. My paternal grandfather was Khwaja Khurshid Anwar. He was a well-known filmmaker in India and Pakistan in the mid-20th century. While he directed and wrote the screenplay for a few films, his bread and butter was definitely composing. He worked as a music director on over 24 films in a career that spanned 4 decades in both India and Pakistan. At a young age, my father, he also wanted to become a composer himself. For various reasons, he took a more, you could say, pragmatic route and has been practicing here in the US as a cardiologist.
Cardiology is the only field in medicine which involves sound and rhythm. My earliest childhood memories are listening to the extensive record collection of my dad. Records from Bombay of his peers, and I would listen to it imagining I'm the conductor. I have been asked many times, what would be my profession if not a physician? The answer to that is very simple. To me, I would have been a music composer.
The idea for this song, Woh Umeed Ki Manzil, actually began with my father.
This song started when I was 15-year-old. I had just finished reading my first novel. This poem was listed at the end of the novel, Woh Umeed Ki Manzil ab kahan nigahon mein. I was very moved by the poetry. Within 5 or 10 minutes, almost like a reflex, I came up with the melody.
My dad kept it locked in his brain for 50 some odd years. A few years ago, he came up to me and said, look, I have this melody. If you want to develop it and use it, you can. And I said, of course, I developed this idea and I added stuff to the melody and I orchestrated this song and composed the parts and did my best to nurture the song. And it's really gratifying to see this beautiful song that has grown from that seed that my dad kept from such a young age. When I was trying to figure out the vocal performance for the song, Zeb Bungish immediately came to mind. She's got such a versatile voice. She sings in I don't know how many different languages, so many different styles. She's one of the most prolific playback singers in the Pakistani film industry. She's sung all over the world.
When I work with directors who are from Pakistan, they're more and more interested in doing stuff that is global and contemporary. And here I see you, someone who's grown up in America, who can't even speak Urdu without an American accent.
Barely speak Urdu, yeah.
And here you are so interested in doing traditional, old world Pakistani filmy music.
We wanted to use the same type of instrumentation. You get the vibraphone in there, you get that string section, these very melancholy, overwrought lyrics. So we wanted to capture that essence of those old film songs from that golden era. At the same time, even in a song like this, my upbringing in Texas is present in everything I do. You can see the fingerprints of all those different artists that I adored growing up and that I listened to alongside the Bollywood and Lollywood standards with my parents on those long drives on I-35. You know, obviously I never met Dadajan. He passed away a couple years before I was born. But I'd say he's had a profound influence in terms of the paths I've taken over the course of my life. Woh Umeed Ki Manzil, obviously, it's very much a tribute to his work.
In the studio, I did not have fun.
Okay, let's just get that out there. Zeb did not have fun in the studio at all.
No, what happened was that I am such a perfectionist. I'm never satisfied with what I do. And then I met someone who was more tough to please than I was.
I hope you enjoy what we produced as much as I've enjoyed producing it.
It was fun, it was challenging. Bring it on.
Ah, there you go. I like that attitude.